How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Exela. I've been getting a lot of those requests saying, Dre, have you been seeing the recent price action? What is it looking like? Have you been hearing about the recent news? So you know what? We're going to talk about this inside of this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. Whether you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to take a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Exela. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at 64 cents, being up 16.36%. On the low, it tested 60 cents, and then on the high, testing 75 cents. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 266.127 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 71.089 million shares. So we had well above average volume, and it's part of the reasons why we saw strength in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below, it's at 42.56. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. But one of the things that I want to bring up to you, when we take a look at this chart, we are seeing something bullish. We are forming higher lows. So what you want to see going into tomorrow is us closing above the 60 cents that we tested on the day. Most preferably, if we end up having a pullback going into tomorrow, I'd want to see us hold up at least around 62 to 63 cents. If we end up gaining some momentum, you saw that we had a high at 75 cents. So don't be shocked if we have that buying pressure coming in if we make a move to the 50-day, which is right around 99 cents. Again, the volume would have to continue. If it is not continuing, then we might end up seeing a high, seeing how well we could do when we see some resistance right around 80 cents. So that's one thing you want to add to your homework. That 80-cent level is going to be very key. We get above 80, this is where we can start making that move going into the 90-cent range. And if it decides to pull back and break the pattern of the higher lows that it has been forming, then I want to see us hold up at least 60 cents. So let's see how it performs going into tomorrow. So we're going to take a look at the short interest information for Exela. So for the dark pool short volume ratio, it's at 54.64%. And then for the dark pool short volume, it is just over 65.15 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 10 million, updated 10 minutes ago. And then for the short ball fee rate, it is at 2.91%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see for the close of the 24th, it was at 43.48. And then for the close of the 25th, which was yesterday, it's at 54.64. So it has gone up significantly, but one thing that is clear, Exela does have short squeeze potential, and it's part of the reasons why we're seeing a lot of volatility in the stock. So now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Exela. So we see here on the inflow, it's at 49.19, and then on the outflow, it's at 46.29. Taking a look at the breakdown further, on the large, it was 8.22. On the medium, it was 29.53, and then on the small, it was 11.44. When we take a look at the outflow side, we can see on the large, it was 10.00. On the medium, it was 26.97, and then on the small, it was 9.32. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for January to 26th, which is today, it being at negative outflow of 1.78 million. We also did see this on the 25th as well, being at 0.16 million. Now, when we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more buying then we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more buying than we had selling. But when we take a look at the large, which we just covered, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, woo, it was at 144.34%. No shocker there. We know there were a lot of traders that were inside of this play. We also didn't know it was really volatile inside of the markets. Plus, on top of that, there are many who are holding a position inside of XELA. So when they ended up seeing that pop, of course, they were going to sell. But one thing that is very clear, we still have demand on the retail side in regards to buying. And we want to see a continuation of this, especially when taking a look at the volume. And we went over that in the technicals. So now let's go into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for XELA, let's go over some recent news that has came out as of late. So the first one being is they were awarded a $35 million contract. And then secondly, they are doing a buyback program of 100 million shares at $1. So what does this tell you? This tells you, as far as the management is concerned, they are very confident in this stock due to the fact they are buying back shares, and that also does return value to shareholders. And this is why you're seeing a lot of momentum coming into this play. And also, when we take a look at their past two earnings report, they have done fairly well. So there's a lot of potential in this company. So for anyone that's looking to get into a position, I would highly suggest you do your homework, do your due diligence, and be patient. Just because management is buying back shares, it doesn't mean that the stock is going to pop right away. But at the same time, if you want to be able to get a position in, then of course, make sure you do your homework before you actually do that. In regards to the price action though, I want to see it hold up if it does decide to pull back around 62 or 63. We've seen on the chart that it is making higher lows. And I also did see inside of the after hours, it was around 65 to 66 cents. So again, this stock does provide an opportunity for those that are interested. I myself, I am not taking a position. I want to make sure I'm being transparent about that. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it does continue to have short squeeze potential. So this is going to contribute to the volatility you see inside of the stock. And I felt that it held up very well, all things considered, knowing that we had a volatile market. We had the Fed meeting that went down. Jerome Powell also came out, answered questions, let everyone know what the latest updates are and so forth. So the fact that XELA was able to hold up, this is why you want to keep this play on your radar. And like I said before, if you are going to be building out a position, you want to do it in increments. You don't have to go all in right on the first try. Don't have that FOMO, because at the end of the day, you want to be able to take advantage of these dips, and knowing that interest rates will increase in March, we know the volatility will continue and there will be many other plays. But from how it's looking like right now, this is definitely great for XELA, and I feel this stock has a lot of potential moving forward, and I could definitely see how this stock could reward shareholders. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.